this, I think, will be the most important part in your writing. It's actually about linkers. And if you don't know what linkers are, then you probably will not be able to write ever unless you know them. Linkers and conjunctions are the core of writing what we can say more than a simple sentence. Let me tell you, there are three kinds of sentence: simple, compound, complex, and compound complex sentence. If you can't use linkers, you will not be able to make except a simple sentence. And maybe you get a good luck and use and use the word but to make a compound sentence without even knowing you made a compound sentence. But if you know what are the linkers, then you can make one of four kinds of sentences. And actually, if you are preparing yourself for IELTS or for CELTA, you have to know that knowing about simple, compound, complex, and the compound complex sentences is just like a common sense. Because without knowing about these kinds of grammatical structures, you will fail tragically in the writing test or in the writing section. The writing sections, I saw a lot of doctors, I saw a lot of people who have like very knowledgeable English and very rich English, but when they come to the writing part, maybe they are doctors, maybe they are engineers, and they are trying to qualify themselves for scholarships outside or abroad, or maybe in an immigration to another country or a European country, and they come to the part of writing in the IELTS and they fail dramatically. And this horrible accident is happening actually because they don't know how to vary and how to alter their grammatical structures. And the base knowledge about this is about knowing the conjunctions, knowing the linkers. And this, of course, something that you should study thoroughly by yourself, but I will just like give you a hint about it. Linkers are actually the way you use linking words. And the linking words are just like a word that connects two phrases maybe, or two words, or maybe two clauses. So let's see them. Before we see them, we will know the types. We have three kinds. We have the coordinating conjunction, the subordinating conjunction, and the correlative conjunctions. Now, this is still vague, but once we know them more, we will be able to understand them. So let's hear that together or read this together and see why he is marking these words. Because the pop star caught a terrible cold, her upcoming performances in Boston and Chicago were indefinitely postponed. Now, this sentence is called a compound complex sentence. Why? Because it uses two kinds of conjunctions, two kinds of linkers. This one here is a subordinating one, and we will know what is the meaning of this right now. And this one is called a coordinating, and we will also know the meaning of it. So these two were used here. So if you used two kinds, like you used the coordinating and the subordinating conjunctions together in the same sentence before your full stop, this means you wrote a compound complex, which is a winning card in your IELTS or TOEFL or any kind of writing or academic writing you are trying your hands on. Let's see this one also. The tour organizers provided neither rescheduled dates nor refunds for the tickets, causing much discontent among the fans. This one is also a complex sentence because it used a correlative conjunction, which is neither nor. Correlative means any two words that always come to make parallel sentence, like neither nor, either, or, not only but also. These are correlative conjunctions. So conjunctions are the main feature that will make your sentence like complex or compound or more than what most of the beginners write, more than a simple sentence. Now let's see that here. The first one is the coordinating conjunctions. This type of conjunction or this type of linker, I know this word is a little bit scary. They are actually aimed to connect two equal items, like two words or two phrases or two independent clauses. Both the sentences must be able to stand alone to call the conjunction a coordinating conjunction, or vice versa, because both of them will not come except with the other one. If you want to like connect two independent clauses, of course, inevitably you will need a coordinating conjunction. Now, what are they? What are the coordinating conjunctions that we can use? They are actually called the fanboys. That's because they stand for F for A and N, no, B, but, O, or Y, yet, and S, so. These are the fanboys. And if you use one of these in your sentence, then you succeeded to make a compound sentence. So if you can write a simple sentence and a compound sentence, you got half of the way on writing, but you still need the other half to get a good mark or to impress others with your writing. Other than that, if you just become fulfilled with only those two types we talked about, like the simple and the compound, no, your writing will not go anywhere. So let's see. Here is one sentence, which actually, what do you think? Does it like link two words, two phrases, or two clauses? Excellent. Two words. And here, two verbs. And here, two adjectives. So all of these are examples for words and phrases, like the dog wagged his tail and panted excitedly. The results were undeniably intriguing, yet ultimately inconclusive. So these are called linking phrases. Now the next one is what we can use with the dependent clauses, but these are of course the independent clauses. We are still here. We are still in the coordinating conjunction. He's telling you here to use but, or when you use the fanboys and you just like you link two independent sentences together, you need to put a comma between them. So today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists, but she achieved little fame during her lifetime. So when you come to link two independent clauses, just like two clauses to make one single idea, and these two clauses can stand alone, you put a comma between the both of them. So this is what is written here. But of course, you don't need that if you are just like linking words, like here. Now let's move on to subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions actually link two types of clauses. The first, we need to have an independent clause and a dependent clause. So the subordinating conjunction usually used to introduce the dependent one. Let's see that. For example, here are two clauses making a sentence. We're gonna make them right now, like we're gonna put a comma here to link the sentences. After, of course, we put a subordinating conjunction. Because I woke up late this morning, I went to school without eating breakfast. Now, please guess which one of these is the dependent and which one is the independent. Excellent. This one is called dependent because it can't stand alone. I can't say because I woke up late this morning and just stop. I won't say anything else. No, of course, what happened because of this? What's next? What happened after that? So I went to school without eating breakfast. But if I said I went to school without eating breakfast and I stopped, well, that's a complete information. You don't need to say more than that. So it is finished. The sentence here is finished. So this is called an independent clause, and the first one was dependent. It can't stand alone. So because I woke up late this morning, I went to school without eating breakfast. And of course, there is a difference between this because this has a subject and a verb and a full sentence. And on the second side, it has also a full sentence. That's why we call them a coordinating conjunction, and we call it a compound sentence because it combines two independent sentences. But the subordinate comes from the word subordinate, which is something that helps, something that like it supports, but it's not like a single unit by itself. When using a subordinate clause, when using a subordinate conjunction, we need to know that when we put it at the beginning of the sentence, we have to put comma because the sentence is not full. So we have to put comma to continue. At the same time, when you put it in the middle of the sentence, it's okay. We can proceed without the comma. There are many subordinate conjunctions. Ones that express cause and effect, like because, since, and as. Ones for time, when, before, after, once, until, whenever. Ones for place, and ones for conditions, and ones for contrast. There are many, and you should study them thoroughly. Believe me, because if you didn't do, you will lose a lot of marks trying to find the words that can express what's in your mind, but you fail to do that because you don't know a lot about conjunctions. So let's take the last one, which is a correlative conjunction. And this one is actually like this. Her book on the Vietnam War drew not only from from interviews with other survivors, but also from. So as we said, there are two conjunctions make to me a parallel structure, and they always come in pairs like this. You see, always comes in pair and used to join grammatically equal elements, like either or neither nor or not only but also, and both this and that happened. So they use parallel structure, which means two elements should take the same grammatical form. She planned to collect data by either using an online survey or phone interviews. Of course, this is false. Why this is false? Because using an online survey should be accompanied with conducting phone interviews. Okay, so this is what we call parallel structure, the same grammatical structure for both sentences.